Debt snowball isn't math, it's manipulation. And that word makes people uncomfortable because it implies something important. If math worked, smart people wouldn't be broke. But they are. Doctors, engineers, six-figure earners, still trapped. After all, did you know the majority of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency? Sad but true statistics. Today I'm going to explain why. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And halfway through this video, I'll show you the exact mistake that causes people to quit, even when their plan is perfect. It's mind-blowing, I know. But hey, that's just the gist of the world we live in these days. So let me just explain this realistic fact to you that infiltrates why debt is not a math problem. Knowledge has never been the issue. Let's be honest for a second. You already know what interest is. You know minimum payments are bad. You know debt is slowing you down. So why hasn't knowing changed anything? Knowledge, behavior, and with the proper habits and ways of moving well, nothing changes. Awareness, execution. And if you're truly aware and are willing to change the way you act and behave with money and execute a flawless path with all the right movements and behaviors, well, you'll see change. Intelligence control? So once you have the proper mindset, a way of moving, well, the rest is history. You're going to have positive results. Debt doesn't survive because you don't understand numbers. Debt survives because it understands you. In a few minutes, I'll show you how debt quietly trains your brain to give up. Whether you believe this or not, it's the lie about doing the smart thing. Logic dies under stress. Every financial guru assumes one thing about you. What's your first thought? That you're calm? Let me explain the reality of your financial downfall or upstream path you choose. Bills stacking. Notifications, late fees, family pressure. Under stress, the brain doesn't optimize, it survives. The psychology is truly coherent to base cortisol spikes. Narrowed thinking. Short-term relief decisions. That's why people say, I'll start next month. That's not laziness, that's biology. And this is exactly where most debt plans collapse. So look, what if I told you that the debt avalanche versus debt snowball, after all, one's a better choice? Then the other, the real reason one fails, is first of all based on behavior. Because this is the reason why avalanche sounds smarter. Because with the avalanche, you come near saving money by not paying as much in interest because you attack the one with the highest interest rate first and work down from there. This makes sense, right? On paper, it's logical. Lowest interest first. Maximum efficiency. But efficiency is useless if you quit. Meaning by starting with the highest debt first, that you're paying the most interest on and owe the most on and trying to get it paid off before moving to the next debt. However, if you owe a really large amount, you're more subject to burnout because you're not experiencing any wins, and your mind frame starts to second guess itself, thinking, is this even logically possible? Or am I just wasting my time only to not ever get out of this bottomless pit of debt that I've dug myself into? Long time before visible wins. Emotional exhaustion. No identity reinforcement. Avalanche assumes consistency. Snowball creates it. In the next section, I'll explain why your brain needs to finish something before it can stay consistent. The psychology of momentum. It's truly mind-blowing. Completion works as a trigger. Your brain releases dopamine when something is completed, not when it's optimized. Like these right here, checking off lists, video game levels, fitness streaks. A paid-off account is a psychological event. Because you're able to actually see results from completion and you feel relief, confidence, reduced anxiety. A snowball doesn't change your finances first, it changes your belief system. And once belief changes, behavior follows automatically. Cause with small wins, this will rewire your identity. Your brain asks one question constantly. Is what I'm doing working? Am I truly going to be able to see results from this reassurance that's all it's looking for? Confirmation. Minimum payments. Just evidence of failure. Snowball wins. Just evidence of control. Evidence creates identity. Identity creates habits. I tell you all this because this is how debt trains you to fail, shocker, right. After all, you wasn't expecting me to say this. I'm sure, trust me, I know the feeling. Helplessness. If effort doesn't change outcomes, the brain stops trying, because without it seeing results, it shuts down because it doesn't believe it's possible. Look, I understand that. Paying for years. Balances barely move. Hopelessness sets in. That's not weakness, that's conditioning. This is why motivation is the wrong tool, and why systems work. Because whether you believe it, or systems beat motivation. The reasoning behind me saying this is motivation is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. Stress does not. Let me explicate on this a bit. Systems remove decision-making. Visual tracking creates accountability. That's why I created the Debt Reset Master System, which is made up of 100+ pages for people stuck in debt to regain control. Not motivation, with clear rules, negotiation plug-and-play tools to stop paycheck-to-paycheck living, reduce debt, build long-term financial stability even under real-life pressure. This is why I built free tools like my money control system. Not to hype you up, but to remove thinking from the process. Because thinking is where people quit. Seeing progress is non-negotiable, because when you're actually seeing live action, it's undeniable. Visual debt tracking, physical checkoffs, clear milestones. If you can't see progress, your brain assumes failure. So in order to avoid this, I recommend applying this when you're broke. Because however, momentum without extra money. You don't need a raise to build momentum. You just need the ability to buy. Start smallest balance. Any extra payment counts. Progress, perfection. This is why tools like the Paycheck Reset exist, to help you see where momentum can come from before money feels abundant. No price emphasis, just purpose. Though you may have questions or wondering, why peace is the real goal. Peace is what allows consistency. Because with this style, mindset, and behavior, you're able to flourish and grow. Less anxiety. Clearer decisions, better sleep. Snowball works because it gives peace early. So if you have learned something and are truly ready to get your finances in order, let me just say this. The reason Debt Snowball works because it respects how humans actually behave, not how we wish we behaved. If math worked, you'd already be debt-free. So may just leave you with this one last thing. Remember, the Debt Reset Master System is a large overloaded system that's a complete roadmap simplified and is only $5 a small fee to pay for results. If this helped you understand money differently, stay here. This channel is about control, not guilt. And last but least, check out this playlist to show you more detailed money moves that change lives.